I think a number of us owe a little bit of a revisit to Corey Anderson. And as a number of us are going to take the time to hold our hands up and say, Corey, we were wrong. Allow me to be the first. I wasn't wrong to ever assess Corey's skills and to put him as a very good fighter. And I did that from the beginning. Of course I wasn't wrong to do that. He won the Ultimate Fighter. This is how we became familiar with him. That is the toughest tournament in all of sports. So right out of the gate, he comes in with a level of respect. I wasn't wrong to note that he is going about the PR of his own career off course. I'm right about that. Corey is wrong when Corey comes out and tells people that he is not charismatic. He's wrong about that. He is a very handsome guy with a very nice smile. He is wrong when he comes and tells people, I can't grab the microphone and have people be interested in me. He's wrong. He's a very well-spoken guy who's intelligent and has a good message. One thing that's happened with Corey is he has believed some of his wins to be more meaningful than they actually were. And he has believed some of those wins and losses that then turn into something known as a record is more impressive than it actually is. He's not uncommon to do that. Look, you got to look at this from Corey Anderson's perspective, okay? All of these fights that he had were everything in his life at that time. He put everything into it. The life of a fighter looks glamorous because you see it on TV and you see the smoke and the mirrors and the lights, but it's not. Behind the scene, it's not. He gets up in the morning, works his ass off. He goes home and rests. Why? So that he can go back in the afternoon and work his ass off again. Then he has to go home and guess the only thing that he can do because he's out of energy. Rest again. Get up in the morning, do it all over again. It's not that fun. And when you're zeroed in and you're locked in and you keep your bubble and your circle really small, you've just got your coaches and your trainers and some teammates, and they're all letting you know and reminding you how big and important this fight is and how important it is to stay disciplined and focused and train, and you do just that. Then you go out and you get your hand raised in the hardest sport in the world to even do, let alone get a single victory. And he got a whole bunch of them. He is not wrong to falsely assess some of those wins and make them bigger than they actually were, because it was everything in his life. It's not even uncommon that he did that. But some of the things that Corey is doing in terms of how he is approaching this are a little bit off. Corey deserves a ton of credit and respect for even taking that fight with Walker. I think he took that fight because he fully understood this guy's supposed to beat me, same as everybody else I've ever fought, because you guys won't give me a pat on the back. It's at the Garden. I can be on the main card, get a bunch of exposure. Let's see what happens and go from there. He then finds he's not on the main card. Taking on a top contender who's being looked at for a world title. He's not being discussed for a world title. I've been in that spot, by the way. I must tell you, when you go into a fight and it is well known by the viewer that your opponent with a victory is going to go into a world title fight, but then you find out it doesn't apply to you, you go, how does this work? Really tough spot. So there's a lot of things that would create an angst and a pressure on Corey. So Corey spoke out. How do you blame him? How do you blame him for speaking out when you, now that I put the pieces together and you understand what's on his shoulders? This guy is being looked at for a title fight. If I beat him, which is my entire goal and focus of this period of my time in life, I don't get the same due. The reason I bring that up is then Corey has to come back and understand himself. This is a two-way street. If you come out and you say something in the media, when the president gets a stick in his hand and he is asked a question, he is going to respond to it. And if you come out hard on him, he's not then. Have you ever seen in the history, have you ever seen him come out, you're hard on him, he comes out and goes, well, I thought about it, and Corey sure was right, and, I didn't understand this business as well as I thought I did, and I'd really like to give a correction statement. No, Corey doesn't work that way, okay? You're playing a dangerous game. With those dangers, with those risks, can come tremendous reward. So I don't want to tell you not to do it. It's risky. It's not what I would tell you to do, but I'm not confident in telling you not to do it. You have my attention. And while you're not slaving away to get the approval of Chael is one part of a focus group. I'm a good place to start. You can go get 10 or 11 Chael's opinions, do whatever seems most you're probably going to have it right. I'm a place to start. You have me interested. I like your story. I like that you came out and said, I can't get a pat on the back no matter what I do, so what's the difference? Okay, keep telling me. You're the victim here? People are treating you bad? That's interesting to me. Let me in on that, Corey, and I'm glad that you did. He told Johnny Walker ahead of time, this sport comes with levels. You're going to find that out, young man. Turned out he was right. I should mention for you, with this tremendous upset and tremendous victory that Corey Anderson had, he never even used his best skill. He deserves some credit for that. Where the hell's the surprise from everybody? His best skill is wrestling, followed by ground and pound. He didn't even use it. So as impressed as you likely were and should have been with Corey Anderson's physical performance over the weekend, take into account he didn't even use his best skill. I think that should be recognized. Corey does not get to paint himself as Mr. Surprised when he took some shots. Roles got reversed. Now the media's on the guy you took shots at. Got some shots taken back. Can't be surprised. There's a little bit of a game. That's true. There's some guys that don't play that game, and it's worked out just well for them. Perhaps you're going to be one of those guys. I'm not ready to tell you to do the strategy that you've invoked, but I'm not ready to tell you to stop.
He's been running these streets for years, and he's still here, and so is fear. Undisputed, never lost a round. Bodies hit the ground when the bad guy comes to town. American gangster, this man will put a hurt on you. You'll be crying for your mama by the time he's through. You better believe that your life's in danger when you see the American gangster.